Welcome to another episode of Geekmen and the Masters of the Thunder Nerds. I'm Dustin.
I'm Zombie13, and this is ADHD Theater.
Indeed.
If this is your first time joining us, thanks for tuning in.
Indeed.
We're a couple of lovable goofballs.
Occasionally.
Takes some getting used to, I guess. We are the self-proclaimed bad batch of podcasters.
Indeed, we are.
How's the saying go, Dustin?
We're the bad batch of podcasts. We're
dysfunctional yet
we're
I don't know how you say it.
yeah, we're how did I say it? You put me on the spot, now I forgot. So
see what I mean?
we're defective but effective.
Defective but effective. There you go. That's it.
And definitely defective because I can't even think straight at the time. Rumble's acting stupid, he says, but says hi everyone. Hi to everyone on Rumble.
Yeah.
And
hello, Rumble.
Hi to my madre. Hola.
Pam, how you doing? Sorry, no dairy tonight.
Yeah, it doesn't look like it. But all right. So just again, a heads up. If this is the first time you're tuning in, we usually, this all started because my buddy Kurt would ask me, "Hey, have you seen this movie?" And me, being the sheltered child that I was like, "No. Why? Why is this a big deal?" And he would make such a big deal out of it, like, "Oh my gosh, you haven't seen this movie? Stop everything and go watch this movie." And it's just like, okay, chill. I'll watch it eventually, when there's nothing else to watch and all that. So I kept making excuses. So we thought of this podcast where we would exchange movies, and I would give him movies that he hasn't watched to watch, and he would tell me what to watch, and we would have to go watch and then come back and talk about them. So that's how the concept was initially formed. And then it sort of morphed into what we do now, which is we usually pick two movies and then we go watch them and then come back the next week and talk about them. So this week was Pilgrim and Thanksgiving. So we'll be talking about those. I'm curious if my mom actually watched them. I forgot to ask her. I was trying to convince her to watch them, and she wasn't so sure that she was going to watch Pilgrim, she wasn't so sure that she was going to make it through Thanksgiving. So I was curious if she did or not. She said, okay, I'll have to watch it first thing of the morning before I go to bed. So that way I forget about it before I go to bed. So anyway, so Zombie, what do you have going on?
So I want to, usually I save this type of thing for our Monday night show. It's Frickin' Figures, where we talk about stuff coming out in the action figure world. So if you're into that sort of stuff, if you like toys, collectibles, tune in to our show on Monday nights. What's the time on that?
10:30.
10:30 Monday nights. Yeah. So I'm going to kind of push this tonight because it's Black Friday, and the sale that's running here is starting now, actually, through Cyber Monday. So my good friend, Travis Hotard, who runs Omega Level Toys and Comics, has a website. He's got all kinds of cool stuff. Yep, that's him right there. He's got his website is omegaleveltoys.bigcartel.com, and I try to help shed light on his site because I kind of talked him into being one of the approved retailers for studios. If you're not familiar with them, they're the studio that created Mythic Legions and now Cosmic Legions, which Travis has on his site. So I would like to, if you would, pull the share screen up for me. So this is what you're going to look at right here whenever you go to that website, omegaleveltoys.bigcartel.com. That's the homepage. So you come through to products, you click on that, and there's there's Four Horsemen Studios, there's Mythic Legions, Cosmic Legions, Retailer Appreciation Wave, Figura Obscura, Major Bendy's, which he has quite a few exclusives through them.
Yeah.
Wrestling figures. He does have the occasional like Marvel and DC if you're into the more mainstream stuff, but there's more. Running a sale, which is the whole reason why I'm bringing him up right now on a Friday, is he's offering 25% off at checkout if you use the code Turkey2024. There's that code right there. That is it's 25% off. 25% off your entire order now through December 2nd, Cyber Monday. So, if you like toys, if you like cool toys, go check them out. Pick some stuff up. Tell them Zombie sent you.
Indeed. There we go. 25% off.
There you go. 25% off. And that's for your entire order. It's going to ship out next week. So get your orders in time to get those gifts under the tree. And there's that website one more time. omegaleveltoys.bigcartel.com.
There we go. All right. I dig it. Oh, there, I see my dude there.
Yep.
There's several of them.
Quick little look at some of the some Cosmic Legions that he's got.
I tell you what, the Manny-Face one and the Manny-Face tribute, why am I blanking on his name right now? The
Operative 83 and then Scourge. Yep. Those two are Masters of the Universe kind of nods. The Horsemen get away with doing that because they helped revitalize the whole Masters of the Universe thing with Mattel. So they kind of get to play in that same sandbox on occasion.
Right. And so those two are like awesome. But then if you scroll over just a little bit, the mine worker is particularly intriguing to me because he just looks so weird and cool. He's got that big drill, and I don't know, like, there's something about him. He's all white, which is completely different from the other Sphexians that I have. And so it's just a really cool aesthetic. I really dig it.
That's some of the accessories that he comes with. Unlike the other Sphexian figures that are, like you said, a little more colorful, this one comes with two different head sculpts. You got one that's more of a dormant type of head, dormant, and another one that's more of a, it's meant to be like a singing, because there's like a whole backstory with the mine workers using kind of like a telepathy thing to communicate, and their vocal cords a little bit different, so anytime they make any type of vocalization, it just comes out sounding like, insect type of singing. So that's what that's kind of supposed to represent there. But I have this one. He is pretty cool. I actually think I like this one better than the other more colorful versions, but I mean, that's just me.
Plus the armor is all like pretty much black. There's just some highlighting details. It's
like a really dark gray with lighter gray highlights around it. So it's a little deceptive. It's almost black, almost. It's a shade away from black. But that's
it's just still intriguing. That's all.
That's me being a tetrachromat. I'm picky like that. I see colors differently. Okay, I'm sorry.
Well, I dig it, and you should too. Go pick up some of these figures, or all of them.
Yeah, and there's
He
some of your
normally
wrestling.
specializes in whatnot sales, so he does
He
a lot of
does.
those types of things.
Yep, you can find him on Whatnot at
Yep.
Omega Level Toys.
Yep.
So that's just a sampling of what you'll
Every
see on
single
his
one of
website.
those is just absolutely amazing.
Oh yeah, there's not a dud in any of these waves here. With the Cosmic Legions or the Mythic Legions, they're all home runs.
Yep. And it's so hard to pick and choose. Oh.
I am surprised he still has that Headless Horseman. So, since we're getting into the Christmas season here, I'll share this guy. This guy is from the Figura Obscura line that the Horsemen do. So you got your Father Christmas here in your green robes. So another fantastic figure here. This has soft goods. All the soft goods are wired.
Kind of makes me want to get that and replace it with the Irish Santa on my mom's shelf and see if she notices.
I bet she would.
Yeah, I'm sure she would.
Okay.
But
that's enough about him. Go get you some cool stuff.
Absolutely.
I'm sure he'd appreciate it, and you'd be supporting a small business.
Small busy to biz. Treat yourself.
Yep. Treat yourself.
As my buddy Tom Haverford used to say.
Get you some gifts for friends and family.
Yes. I wouldn't mind that chromatic red guy up there. Oh, that is another amazing piece as well.
Yeah, the color on that one really pops. That red.
So are you saying definitely you would notice, or
definitely she would notice?
Right.
You're not getting one over on her.
Yeah, no, I mean it's a Santa, but he does have green robes, but he has a really long white beard. So it's you definitely be able to tell, unless I replaced it with a white bearded Santa. Then she might miss it. But anyway, I'm going to continue to run this for a minute here. But again, that's Turkey 2024 for 25% off. And yeah, I dig it.
Now through Monday. So don't wait too long. Some of these things I know for a fact he's only got one of. So once it sells, it's gone. And this isn't like, oh well, I'll wait, it'll get restocked. Nope. What he has is what he's got. Once it's gone, no more is being made. That's it. They're gone. So don't wait.
Indeed. So let's see. Are you watching anything these days? Have you been outside of our movies? Move on to our segment. What you watching?
What you watching? I snuck in Deep Blue Sea because I noticed that it was going away in a few days on Tubi. Yep. So I was supposed to be painting and doing stuff, and then I kept going back to the screen.
Well, and it's one of those things that it's like I didn't watch Jaws originally, and I later then was like, man, is there even a point to watch Jaws? Because I've seen Open Water, Deep Blue Sea, all these other really, really awesome shark movies, and it's like, is there even a point? And so eventually I got talked into watching it, so I did. But there's still something about that Deep Blue Sea movie. It's just entertaining. I really enjoy it. Sam Jackson giving his little speech, pick me up, and then
Yeah. Yeah, he got it.
Yeah. And I think somewhere on some site, I forget which site it was, but they were saying that that is one of the only movies where a black person survives until the end.
Oh no.
But
yeah, the whole cliche thing. No.
Right.
I mean, it's LL Cool J that
right. Well, I mean, who's going to kill him off?
Right. I mean, but you had what was the other one that was even before that was I think it was Anaconda. You had
No, that's
Ice
a movie
Cube.
I haven't seen in a long time.
Ice Cube is in that one. He survived. He made it. I think I'm remembering that right.
I don't know, but I just remember seeing something where it's like, this is the one movie, one of the only movies where a black person survives until the end.
No. They even like joked about
that, right?
Yeah, like because he at some point was like, he said something like, this is the type of situation brothers don't make it out of, or something.
Right.
So his bird did not make it though.
Oh yeah, that was a travesty.
That foul mouth foul. I see Jonathan. Jonathan, hey, how you doing? Yeah, that is the one with Samuel L. Jackson. Yeah, best death scene. Yeah. Halloween Resurrection, Busta Rhymes survives. Yeah, see? So, I mean, that's like we're talking maybe, late 80s, early 90s where that whole cliche kind of thing happened. And then they, they're
corrected
like, hey, now hold up, that's kind of like my issue that I have where I call it the Adam and Eve syndrome, where all this bad stuff is happening, and by the end of the movie, one man and one woman make it out alive, and that bugs the hell out of me. And for a little while, I'd forgotten a lot of Deep Blue Sea, and for a while there, I thought, okay, you're gonna have the hero guy, the anti-hero, whatever you want to call him, the scientist girl, and then LL Cool J is gonna make it, and then she's all up in the water and everything, and I was like, "Oh, she did make it! I forgot about that." So yeah, that was. But yeah, and then there's the movies where nobody makes it out alive. It's like,
which is usually like a Stephen King movie.
I don't know if I like that either.
it's just like kind of depressing, like. Who's gonna live to tell about this?
Yeah, like they went through all of that and nobody made it.
Right. They went through all of that shit and no one got out alive to be able to tell their story to anyone. It's just a little depressing that no nugget of gets out. Just a little. I'm saying just a little. But I've also written plenty of stories like that, where no one makes it out alive. But
what about you? What you watching?
Okay, so this week, outside of the movies we had to watch, I watched Twisters.
Okay.
Which got to get a little preview, a little tiny sneak peek of David Cornsweet and what he might look like as Superman in the new Superman movie. It was interesting. I am a diehard Henry Cavill fan, so it's going to be hard, but I mean, it wasn't that bad. I mean, the dude was like a complete douche in the movie, so that didn't help, but I imagine Superman being Superman is going to be the opposite of a huge ball of douche. So, you know, I'm hopeful. That was another movie I just watched. What was it? Hang on, forgot what it was. I watched The Penguin, the series Penguin, and that was interesting. I'll have more to say on that probably. I'm gonna get with Derry and see about doing a movie or a TV review series like we did with Shogun and stuff like that in the past. So I'm thinking we're gonna do that, but
I gotta find the time to watch these things because I'm missing out.
It's piling up for me too. Like right now, we have so many shows that are in the background. Like, let's see, there's Mayor of Kingstown that came out like back in June, and we still haven't watched that. And that's been on my back burner, and it's always in the back of my mind, like, oh yeah, I gotta watch that. We got Tracker, Superman and Lois, which is on its final few episodes. I think the series finale is on Monday, and they're going out with a bang. They're putting everything into this, so it's interesting. Landman, Yellowstone. There's a show that I keep wanting to watch called Teacup that looks really interesting, and it's like a horror / thriller. And hang on, old school TV review. Well, yeah. Well, we have one on the channel already. We did Shogun. I know. I think there was another one, but I'm not 100% sure. But yeah, so we go down each episode and then give a synopsis, like here's what the summary, here's what we thought, that type of thing. But yeah, so there's Landman, Teacup, The Old Man, which came out several months ago, and we still haven't got around to watching it. Lioness that just came out. Outlanders out again now, and Silo, and so new episodes of Silo are on, and there's a show called The Diplomat on Netflix. That's like, really want to get to it, but yeah. So The Old Man is great. Yeah, I enjoy it. It's just one of those things I haven't been able to sit down and get around to it, but hopefully I will eventually come out the other side. I also, The Bear, I love that show, and we're still at the beginning of season 2. We haven't been able to finish it yet. Oh, not to mention House of the Dragon. I know it's controversial to some folks out there that think it's just straight garbage, and who even George R.R. Martin thinks is straight garbage. But haven't got to watch that yet. From is another show. We haven't watched season 2. We've only watched season 1, season 2, season 3. We haven't got to watch yet, and it's on my to watch list, and we just haven't, 1, had the channel, 2, had the time, and all that. So yeah, I have a mess of TV shows that I'm trying to get watched, and there's never any time to watch it. So
my issue is just long work hours, always being gone, and then the kids' activities stuff in the evenings. Sometimes I've only got enough time to come home, get cleaned up, eat dinner, and then it's back out again.
Yeah.
So it's not for the lack of not having anything to do.
Oh yeah, for sure. I know you're
missing out on some of these things, but
I know your situation. But
like I keep forgetting about Penguin. Like I'll get like this weird like moment where it's almost like I'm buffering or something. I'm like, there's something I'm forgetting. Like there was something I wanted to watch or whatever, but I can't remember what it is. So, whatever. I'm doing this other thing now.
Yeah. Hang on. I just got a notification. Where is it? So, dang it. Why do I do this to myself? Okay. Killer's Game is one I watched. It has Dave Bautista in it. That was just a fun watch. But yeah, so I want to get to the movies because I noticed something that I didn't notice before until this show, and we watched this movie. So I want to talk about that soon.
Okay.
But anyway, I was all excited. I was like, wait a minute. I wouldn't have known about those until now.
Okay. I'm
digress.
interested.
Yes.
You've man. There we go. We get the wig on right.
Oh,
I'm being distracted by the ticker at the bottom. You can take that down now. All right. So you've piqued my interest. Let's move on. Let's talk about Pilgrim first.
Okay.
So I see a little gremlin in the background.
What's up? Okay.
So I'd never heard of this.
Yeah.
This was on Hulu.
Mm-hmm.
And so you said it was kind of in the same vein of like our other movie Thanksgiving was.
Yeah.
And while I have to agree, it's kind of the same, follows along the same of, Thanksgiving themed.
Right.
It's a very different movie.
Yes.
From Thanksgiving.
I said that without having watched it. So
yeah.
It seems like the same vein. But it did feel very different once you got into it. Because even the first few scenes that it's like, dang, man, these are practically the same movie. And then it blossoms into the movie that it is. And it's like, oh, okay, well, that's different in a good way. That it's not the exact same movie. So
yeah, no, it's not like it's a knockoff of Thanksgiving or anything.
Right.
But so it's basically it's this this couple that's kind of a well-off family. The dad is divorced and remarried. He had a child with his first wife and another child with his second wife. First child was the daughter, and the second child was the son. And the mother has this idea that she's going to get these Pilgrim reenactors to do the first Thanksgiving, and she thinks, oh, it'll be great. It'll be fun. It's a good experience. Maybe it'll make the kids, think, to be grateful for the things that they're provided and all this sort of kind of stuff. But things take a very serious turn when these people show up on their door.
Yeah, they show up early.
Yeah, first of all, they're early. They're not like even like a day early. They're like 2 days early or something like that. It's crazy. Yeah. So they show up full costume, full character. They never break character ever. They don't slip once.
What is mine?
They're committed.
Right.
So they go through and they're like, so the first to show up is like this husband-wife team kind of thing.
Yeah.
And so they split off, and the wife goes with the neighbor family, which was kind of a surprise to them. Like, why are you dragging me into this?
Right.
You know, these strangers are coming into the house. The daughter immediately had a problem with it. Like, they're staying here in our house. We don't know them.
Right.
And immediately I'm siding with her. I'm like, exactly. You're not staying here.
Right.
Get the hell out.
Right. I'd be like,
I
yeah,
don't
there's a
know
hotel
you.
down the road.
Right. I don't know you. Go build you a shack in the woods for all I care. You're the reenactor.
Right.
So the daughter had good instincts. And it just goes downhill from there. It just gets more and more serious. Like,
But she was very petulant about through the whole thing. I mean, I
yes.
get the whole, like, she was just petulant, just
Yes.
with her mom and everything like that. She's like, well, with the stepmom, I suppose it was, but
Definitely
is
your
like,
typical like teenage
man.
attitude, you know, defiant and not
Right.
agreeable to anything. And yeah. So this
I
was
think I said to Pumira, I was like, man, the one chick you want to die is probably not gonna die because of she's essentially the main character. It's like, God.
You wanted the daughter to die.
Oh, just because she was being such a smart mouth.
I knew immediately
Yeah.
she was going to be like, if not the sole survivor, like she was going to make it. You know, I'm like, yeah, they're setting this up to where she's going to be the one to like make everybody realize how terrible of an idea this was.
Right.
This was a very hard watch for me. I did not enjoy this movie. I'm going to be honest with you right up front. I did. It was shot weird. It had weird close-ups. Like, there'd be a totally normal scene, and then all of a sudden, the camera's like up in the character's face. And especially like when shit got weird, they'd be like laughing and stuff. And they're like, ah, ha, 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 in the camera. And like the little boy, the son, kept making these weird faces in all of his close-ups. Like, there was not a normal face this kid made through the entire movie. He's on camera. Like, do you just have a weird face or something? I don't know. But he's all like squinty and mousy, and I don't know. It was just, it was a really hard watch. And I did not like the teenage daughter at all.
So you agreed with me.
At all. I did not like the way that character was portrayed. Even when they're dunking her in the pool on the, you know, weird seesaw witch dunking thing, whatever it's called. She's going underwater and everything. Her hair comes up perfect. It's got like that, you know, that one Aaliyah eye covered thing going on. And they show her in the water and her hair's all messed up and she's screaming, which, you know, you moron, hold your breath.
Right.
And they like hoist her up and it's like, nope, there's the hair again. It's perfect over that one eye. I hated that. I'm like, drown that bitch already. Just let it go. Leave her down there. She is never going to go along with the thing that you're trying to get her to do. Okay. But no, jokes aside, I didn't like her character at all. That character was portrayed very, very abrasive.
Yeah.
The hair really bothered me though. That really did.
Well, I didn't like her for reasons of just that she was a straight brat. It's like, man, you need to get, you know, knocked around and put in place or something. Someone needs to put you in place.
I definitely got the feeling of this was a very entitled person.
Yes.
In the way that they were brought up. Like Daddy's little princess, and she got everything she ever wanted. Because, you know, well, Mommy's not here anymore. Yeah, sure, Daddy will get you whatever you want, sort of. So it was kind of her character was a product of being brought up by her father, I think.
Well, I thought they said in that, wait, maybe that was the other movie. Yeah, I think that was the other movie. For some reason, I thought that they were talking about it. It had only been a few months between, he met her and blah blah blah, but it was all new. But regardless, yeah, she was not a friendly character, and was not. But all right, so it sounds like you didn't like it, and I get the whole close-ups but I feel like that was.
I don't think they had a normal close-up of any of the actors in that whole movie. It was that very extreme camera, like in your face, kind of like their face took up the entire screen, but it wasn't like this. It was like this. It was always like with these weird angles.
Yeah. I felt like that was a director's choice, or however, an artist's choice, because they're trying to convey something that was not normal, and they
nothing about
translated it to the close-ups and the weird angles and things like that, because that's how I took it, and I enjoyed it for the most part. Zombie, do you want to go ahead and rate this on our unofficial Baja Blast Rating Scale? Crack open a cold one to enjoy.
You better save them. I heard you can't get them no more.
Well, Kumar found a couple packs, so I'm rationing them. I actually really don't drink them, except for streams.
Okay.
Gotta represent.
Man. Like I said, I did not enjoy this movie. This is not something that I would ever watch again. This is probably the lowest I've ever rated a movie so far. And I think I'm being generous here. I'm going 1.5.
Fair enough. So okay, so one more thing that I want to just touch on real quick. You've already established that these people are freaking lunatics, yeah?
Yeah.
So here, take candy from this complete stranger who's crazy and also doesn't believe in any modern anything.
He
doesn't want modern devices, but the candy was so out of place that he had on him.
He had a lot of it too.
Yeah. An entire
bag. That satchel was full.
Yeah. and it's just like, wait, why is he bribing him with candy? I mean, it's like, for Pilgrim reenactment, was that even accurate for the time period?
The whole thing was, he the way that I took that whole, like, with the candy and what he's trying to get the family to, like, he's trying to make them be grateful for what they have. They've got shelter, they've got food, they've got each other, they've got their health. All the material things don't matter. So I get that he was trying to get them to see that, but it was in a very extreme way, to the point where it got violent. It got very violent. And through the course of the movie, more and more of these reenactors show up to the house. Yeah, you've got the boys' club and the father's den smoking on pipes.
Yeah,
you're talking about rebuilding the shed and all that kind of stuff, the garage or whatever. But yeah, it was just it was a very unhinged way of trying to teach that lesson, I think, because he goes into it, with the young boy out in the woods where he finds the crow dying or whatever, and he's trying to protect him, and he gives him that piece of candy, and he immediately asks for more. there's that entitlement thing again,
Yeah.
and he talks to him in a way that a father would talk to, their son or a child, and telling them a story to help them understand, you shouldn't always seek more. You should be grateful for what you have.
Right.
And he did. He conveyed that message to him. And we see a little bit of that reflection on, and the reenactor's name, I believe, was Ethan. So you see a bit of Ethan reflecting on that, and he looks up as if speaking to, the Lord or whatever.
Yeah.
I didn't have to take everything from this one to teach him.
Right.
So it's almost like the more you resist the lesson, the more extreme the situation is going to get to try and break through.
Right.
So, me, I always find these oddball flaws and everything. In one of the scenes where the wife reenactor, I can't remember, Patience is her name. Patience gets stabbed in the temple with an ice pick. And she tries to block it, so it goes through her hand into her head through her temple. That's gonna drop you. I'm sorry. You're not. If you do pull that thing out, you're gonna be. That's blood on the brain. That's
right.
It was.
I took that as okay, so it's a ticking time bomb sort of thing. So maybe they.
She got up just fine. Went about going through this whole thing with the.
Yeah, she's just perfectly fine.
Right. So, and then again with the berries and everything, they went through Matt, they went through the wilderness in the woods behind the house or whatever, and gathered up wild berries and everything, and they brought in these poisonous berries along with everything else. Wouldn't you get rid of that then? Don't have it in the house. Don't have it next to the food if you know it's poisonous. The fact that it was still there while they were making the cranberry blend and all that crap, come on.
Right. Yeah, I mean, I thought that was a fun little tidbit, but it was I don't know, it was okay. I took satisfaction in seeing them puke everywhere. It's yep, darn right.
Yeah,
take that anyway.
Well,
but
you reap what you sow.
Yeah. All right. So you rated that a
1.5.
1.5. I will rate this 2.5.
Not much higher there.
Yeah. I mean, because I didn't love it. It didn't, knock my socks off. But I have mixed feelings. I do feel it's flawed but worthy. I would maybe watch this again, if I was in the mood. But if I couldn't find, Pilgrim or another Planes, Trains, and Automobiles or something like that, that if I was in the mood for that type of theme.
Yeah.
So, but yes. Now, we're at 44 minutes in. We're just getting to the second movie. And want to pop into the comments. Yes, just started from last episode, season 1. Is great so far. That's right. It is. It's a great show. And I'm really looking forward to watching that again at some point when my time allows. But anyway, Pilgrim. How about you want to bring up your thing, your other thing?
Not yet. Let's talk a little bit about Thanksgiving before we share that.
Okay, fair enough. So, to set up, it's like this Walmart type store, and or Best Buy, and everyone is pounding and trying to get this waffle maker thing, and everyone's after this waffle maker. And
so it's not quite Black Friday yet. It's still Thanksgiving. It's Thanksgiving night.
Right.
So the store is having like a special early Black Friday thing. And one of the items is a free waffle iron.
Yeah.
The crowd is just like everybody in this small town showed up for this stupid fucking sale. But go ahead, continue.
Pumira messaged me, and hopefully you'll be able to see it. She went to the store and saw these and messaged me, and it was just like, it was laughing. I was just like, yep. I was like, yeah, I could do with one of those. But so anyway, everyone was after those things, and you know, they're pounding on the doors, and there's very little security, only like 2 security guards, and then, you know, some stupid freaking kids managed to sneak their way inside and are showing off and like, oh, look at this, and you know, pretending to be on their phones and all that stuff, and laughing at all the people outside, which is only making people more mad. And they're like, hey, well, how'd you let them in? Blah, blah, blah. And so it quickly escalates, and then the doors basically collapse and fall in and get crushed. And
one guy like slashes his neck open with some of the glass.
With the glass, as he's walking through the door.
And still takes off towards the waffle irons to try to get one. And he's bleeding out. I'm curious. I don't think that was like instinctual, like, oh, I got to get the iron. I think it was like, oh, I need to get away from all these people pushing me through the door. Oh, no, they show him. He's holding one of the irons.
Yeah.
He's got
I'm
one,
saying
and then like he falls over on the ground, and somebody comes up and snatches it out of his hand, and he's just dead. But yeah, it's complete madness. Absolutely. Everybody's fighting. It's that typical kind of Black Friday crowd from you know, the late 80s, early 90s.
Yesteryear.
Yeah, that you would see on the news, which, by the way, I'm going to interrupt you here. We have the Cabbage Patch Kid to blame for all of that. Okay, 1983, the Cabbage Patch doll came out. They did not make enough of them.
Yep.
And it caused a craze. It caused that whole marketing idea of the whole it thing that had to be bought for that season or whatever. And it was just after Thanksgiving. People were rushing to the stores for these things once they found out that the supply may be limited. So you get these big crowds, and they're arguing, and you see them, they're standing there, and somebody's got the whole, you know, the bullhorn. And there's footage you can look up. Eventually, the people at these stores that work there, they're just taking the dolls and just throwing them out into the crowd. And you see people like grabbing them and trying to wrestle them away from the other person. And it's like one of those beach ball things you see at concerts being bounced around. So people would take these things, these dolls, these Cabbage Patch dolls. They didn't even want them. Would take them to these other higher end stores and sell them for a little bit more. And then the higher end stores would take them and sell them for more. So it was a markup sort of thing.
Right.
Marketing firms saw this and was like, that's a great idea. We need to do this, you know, and the whole Black Friday thing was born, which, you know, you then found yourself fighting tooth and nail, elbow shoving, people dying, and some of these things being crushed under the weight of the crowds and all that sort of thing. So it was a very real kind of thing. And it was almost done almost comically in this movie. It was, I think, done to an extreme in this situation.
Definitely.
But there was a loss of life. I lived that era, tried and failed to get one for my daughter that year. finally got one in April for her birthday. Yeah, so you know what I'm talking about here.
Yeah.
And me being, toy buff, I know these things.
Well, I mean, and they were talking about Tickle Me Elmos were
That was later.
Yeah, this is much later, but and then of course this also harkens back to the Arnold Schwarzenegger sort of comedy movie.
Right.
Trying to get
Jingle All the Way.
Jingle All the Way.
With what was it, Action Man, I think. Yeah, that's kind of what the whole idea around that movie was about. Yeah.
Yep.
But see, in 1982, the It thing was, I think, a strawberry shortcake or a rainbow bright, something like that. But it wasn't such a fever pitch that was caused by the Cabbage Patch Doll.
Yeah.
There was something about that. There's footage of people saying these things are so ugly. I don't want one, but I have to have one. Like, what sense does that make, people? You have no idea the seeds you're planting. But no, back to the movie. Thank you, Cabbage Patch Doll. So all of this chaos is going on in this store. The doors have been busted off. The one security guard ran off. The other security guard got crushed under the crowd beneath the doors, the front doors. The group of kids that snuck in, which one of them was the daughter of the owner of the store.
Right.
That's important for later. So her high school buddies and everything, they went in through a side entrance, through the employee entrance. So that's how they got in, because of her. Yep. She had a key. The one guy friend of hers, he's got his cell phone out and he's recording everything, just egging people on and being just a general dick to everybody. And everybody's cussing him out and he's cussing them out. And, and then one of her family members, I think, no, it wasn't her family member. It was another. I'm sorry. They were, in the beginning of the movie, they were all together having a nice little Thanksgiving dinner or whatever. So the sheriff shows up and he's greeted at the door by this lady.
It was her mom, I thought.
No. That wasn't her mom. That was like an uncle's wife or something.
Yeah, something like that.
Because he had to leave to go to the store because it was opening, while the dad got to sit there with his high maintenance blonde wife trying to be, Martha Stewart or whatever at the table. Yeah. So, complete eye roll.
Yeah.
So she ends up, the dark-haired lady ends up bringing, food to her husband at the store, and he's like, "What are you doing here? You can't be here. You need to, the situation's getting out of hand."
Yeah.
And then all hell breaks loose and everything. She ends up dying. She gets knocked to the ground.
She gets her hair tangled up in a
shopping cart wheel. Cart.
And then someone just wheels it away, and it's ripping her hair off her skull.
So
that was so
she
brutal.
dies.
Yeah.
So you got the one security guard that got crushed. He dies. The guy that slashed his neck open on the glass on the door, he dies.
Yeah.
Then she dies.
Oh, and then someone comes along and breaks Golden Boy's arm.
Yeah. The one girl, the main girl's boyfriend, who's like star pitcher for the baseball team or whatever it is, football team. I didn't pay attention to that.
I think it was baseball.
Was it baseball?
I think.
Yeah. So somebody steps on his forearm and it just snaps. And they show it. It's like, oh, God. So, people are just being animals, and the sheriff takes his gun out and, shoots it a few times to, screams out, "Stop," and credits roll, the opening.
Well, not credits,
sequence, not end credits.
Fast forward, jumps ahead, time jump.
So we've got a time jump by a year or whatever, and we come to this community that, some people can't move on from the events of the previous year. They're saying, the store shouldn't have a sale this year. It's disrespectful, all that kind of stuff. And all the while,
of course, the wife of the store owner is like, no, you got to make me that money. Someone's got to pay my bills, blah, blah, blah. And it's just like, oh, you dirty. Oh.
So yeah, so that's kind of the whole setup of the beginning of the movie. I'm not gonna like talk the whole movie or whatever, but the security footage from the cameras from the store mysteriously disappeared, so they can't like go through it to find out who's responsible for the deaths from a year ago during that whole riot. So things start happening. The celebration for that year, their like town founder, first mayor, something like that. His name was John Carver, and everybody wears a mask with his visage on it, his face. It's kind of a celebratory thing or whatever.
Yeah.
Well, our killer in this movie uses that mask and dresses, with the whole like pilgrim hat thing and the dark like jumpsuit.
Right.
To go after the people because the cell phone footage went viral.
Yep.
They keep taking it down and a copy of it keeps getting put back up or whatever. So our killer goes off of that footage and looks for familiar faces. And so he starts going after the faces that he can make out from that footage. So that's how the revenge killings we find out, for all of that stuff that happened start. And it's a really fun, like modern slasher kind of.
It is movie, such a good modern slasher.
So this movie came out last year, 2023. And so this is my second time watching it, and I still love it. I love it just as much as the first time I watched it. I saw this movie Thanksgiving. I saw this before I saw Terrifier. And while Terrifier is a much more gory type of slasher movie, Thanksgiving with the killer John Carver falls more in the line of like those, late 80s, early 90s, Nightmare on Elm Street, Friday the 13th, that sort of stuff.
Yes. In fact, there's even, I think, a subtle nod to my second favorite death scene, third favorite death scene in the Jason movies. Someone gets picked up and just slammed against a pillar in somewhere. I forget where they were, but I remember them picking them up and slamming them into a pillar, just like Jason did with the dude in the sleeping bag, just beats the sleeping bag against the tree.
Oh, right.
And it was just like, oh, it's just like, I was like, oh, when that happened. But anyway.
Yeah, no, it's a fun movie. If you like that sort of, if you like that sort of movie, that's kind of what to expect. Or maybe like the Scream movies. This kind of felt kind of a similar type of pacing as the Scream movies. So he goes through and he's picking off people that he sees from that video and everything, and like nobody can figure out who he is. The whole town is like, who is this guy? He's smart. He's got several cell phones and he's got like an Instagram account or whatever. And he's got them all like around town or in the outskirts of town in warehouse districts and stuff. So they're trying to like track him down, and they keep coming. Like he's got one of the phones in front of like a computer and he's broadcasting, stuff. So they still can't find him. They can't figure it out. And they're like, well, he's got to have military background, or he's got to be this or that. And and the whole time it's like one of those, well, who is it? Who could it be? Because there's these little things that a lot of the characters do. They kind of keep you guessing for a little while. Like, well, yeah, okay, it could be him. It could be the boyfriend. It could be the ex-boyfriend.
Yeah.
Could be the guy, the husband of the woman that, got her head bashed in and her scalp ripped off. It could be him. It could be, it could be this new deputy that showed up to town.
It could be the main guy, not the store owner.
Oh, right.
Just so unsettling. He has a killer face.
Like his body type, like did not match
not
the
at all.
guy in the suit. So I ruled him out immediately. I'm like, that's not the dad. It can't be him.
No,
you don't even
still,
look like it's the wrong body type.
I mean, you've seen these things happen so many times where they throw someone into a body shape that would not fit them, but all of a sudden, magically, it is.
Right.
Because this is the only person left. They do that all the time with especially when they're trying to trick you between like male and female, and all of a sudden it's the female that ends up being, it's like, okay, so what? You just grew pecs and broad shoulders for just this costume? It's just like, what the heck?
Yeah.
But
no, he's got a very, they designed like the character well, you know, the killer, this killer John Carver. I mean, that whole mask and the Pilgrim thing, as silly as it sounds, it fit the situation and it just felt right, you know. I mean, and he was creative with his kills. Like he didn't dude. It's not like he went after these people with a gun or whatever and took them out. Like, there was some creative ways that he exacted his revenge on these people. Like the first woman that really killed the dark-haired lady and ripped her scalp off or whatever, the lady that worked at the diner, it was her. She was the one that hit that woman in the head first.
Yeah.
So, but the way she went out, like she was the first to go too. Like, I was like, okay, if you only knew, like, she was the one that took that lady out, like you could have stopped. I'm trying not to give too much away because I could. Typically, we don't worry about spoilers here, but I actually
I want you to go watch this movie. So
yeah, I spoke to a lot of people privately, and they were like, "No, I've never even heard of this. What are you talking about? Go watch it now. It's on Netflix. Just trust me. Go watch. It's Thanksgiving night. Perfect. Go watch this movie."
Right.
And then they came back and they're like, "Yeah, that was pretty good." So, but yeah, no, like I want to talk about, well, like, what's your favorite kill? What's your favorite one in this movie?
My favorite was the snobby freaking wife who got tied up and stuffed in the oven as a turkey.
That would be my least. Like, I don't want to go that way. Like, that would be the last on the list. Like, if I had to choose, out of all of the things that happened to the people, the victims in this movie, like, yeah, don't do that one to me.
Right.
That was like the worst one.
So brutal.
Yeah.
And then
like
everybody else, he's over there carving her leg off and then giving it to the husband, and he's over there like,
oh yeah, he's gagged. He's gagged and he's throwing up around the gag thing. It's like, oh my god. But to be cooked alive like that, and
he even stabbed a temperature thermometer thing in her neck so that it would pop out when it was done.
That was crazy.
It was outrageous.
I liked how, like, he didn't even think, because he took the mask off and set it on top of the oven, and it was like he came back to it, and it was like kind of half melted and stuff. Yeah. It was like a little messed up. Like, oh, that is great. And he kept it for a little while, but then he switched out to
for like one or two scenes. As he was chasing that girl, and then once he got her back under control, he went and he swapped out masks. But yeah, so that was my I think my most favorite, because that's the one that sticks out in my memory.
The if it wasn't for that one, and I have to agree with you, like, that's like the worst. You guys are warped. if it wasn't for that one, I would say it would be the girlfriend, the way she went out, because he took the like corn cob things
Oh yes,
and like popped her in the ears. So immediately eardrums are gone.
yeah.
But then he just threw her on the table saw.
Oh yeah, that was brutal.
Like if it wasn't for the oven, like that would be my picks. Like that was bad.
Yeah, because she landed, and then it's just like, and then she falls, and then it's like, blah, 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 blah.
Oh, that's just terrible.
Cue this.
Yeah. So we actually get to see almost. Let's see. Let me count. Let me count here. We get to see 1, 2, 3, 4 different looks for our killer, John Carver here. So eventually we do find out who he is in the movie, and I'm not going to spoil it. So, that's kind of the last look. The first one we get to see is his full like Pilgrim kind of, get up with the mask and the hat and the dark suit or whatever. The second one I'm counting with the messed up mask face, which I thought it's similar, but just from that melted kind of face, like it's scarred up, it's almost like its own different look. Yeah. And to me, that one's much scarier than just the regular, face. But then the third look that we get before the final reveal, is that messed up damn clown suit in the parade. That was like, because everybody's looking for him, like, oh, he's going to be wearing the mask. Stop everybody that you see wearing this mask. We got to find this guy. But he pulls like a complete 180 and it's like, no, I'm going to dress up as a clown. And
Speaking
the one
of clowns, I was like, oh my gosh, it's the clowns from the Killer Clowns
from Outer Space.
And it's just like, I wouldn't have known that. I didn't notice that the first time I watched it until we watched it on this podcast.
Yeah, that was another movie that we watched during our Halloween horror movie marathon.
Yeah.
So yeah. So that was kind of a nod to the old horror again.
Yeah.
But like I think the one death that never saw it coming was the guy in the turkey suit, because he just like walked up in the front of everybody and whoop off with his head right there mid parade. Everybody lost it. The guy in the suit, he didn't expect it.
Right.
But yeah, it's such a great, like, it's well put together. A far cry from Pilgrim, I will say. I enjoyed this enough to make my own custom figure of him. So, for those of you that do know me, I'm going to do something. For those of you that don't know me, I go by Zombie13 online. I'm on Facebook in Mythic Legions Cabal. I'm a huge supporter of Mythic Legions. I decided to take some of the parts that I had from Mythic Legions and the Figura Obscura line that the Horsemen make and make my version of the killer, John Carver. Dustin, if you want to bring that up for me. So here we have, the whole like mysterious reveal kind of thing that I did. And I couldn't get him in the pose in like on the movie poster where he's got his back turned like that and he's got the axe over his shoulder.
Yeah.
So I'm like, okay, I'll go with the next best thing here. So I went that way. So as simple as this custom looks here, this took a lot more work than I expected it to. Because at first I just had the whole base body painted black and it just, I don't know, it just didn't feel right. So I glossed all the belts on, the front of the tunic torso there, the one around his waist and his gloves, and I weathered the gloves up a little bit. The axe is a combination of two different weapons. The hat is a 3D print. Unfortunately, it's not available anymore. It's been retired for a few years now, but it's one of my favorite prints by my friend Lee J. Robinson.
I love
The
it too.
head.
I have several of them.
Yeah. The head itself was what was probably the most challenging part. I went through a couple of different decisions with the head itself. I don't know. I had this one head print that was like a of Vlad the Impaler, kind of pre-Dracula kind of looking thing, and I was gonna go with it, but then like I had this epiphany here. The Horsemen had released last year a Jacob Marley from A Christmas Carol, and that head, once I saw it, I was like, that's it. That's my head. The hair's not right, so I ripped the hair off of it. The hair is a custom cast from another figure or whatever, and I ended up sculpting the facial hair needed for it, for his pointy beard and his kind of curly Q mustache. But yeah, this was really, really fun to make. A little close up there of the face, the head. So the Jacob Marley figure is all like blues and whites and everything. So what I wanted to do with the paint is I wanted to kind of mimic the mask itself, but because this isn't just a straight like representation of what you see in the movie, this is kind of a Mythic Legions type of take on it. I tried to use as many factory produced Mythic Legions and Figure Obscura pieces as possible. Of course, there's no hat like that, and I did have to rework the head a little bit. But this is kind of along the vein of what you see in the Mythic Legions community a lot. Is they'll make these tribute type of customs to where it's a familiar enough look that you get it. Like some people have made Boba Fett from Star Wars. Other people have made other Masters of the Universe characters using different parts and pieces. Some of them paint, some of them don't. Some of them just look for similar body parts or whatever. I mean, the sky's the limit with this type of stuff. Me being a full-on customizer, I'm going all out on it. This is the second horror-based figure that I've done of a slasher killer kind of character. I think I'm going to call this series that I'm doing like what was it, Legions of Horror, I think is what I'm. So the first one that I did was was Jason from Friday the 13th. I no longer have that figure. I actually tore him apart to use his parts for other things. And I did so only because I am remaking that custom, but better, because better stuff has come out.
Yeah.
So while he was the first, Jason was the first in the series, I'm calling John Carver the second in the series. So it'll go back and forth a little bit, I think. So one thing I did do different here with the eyes is I didn't want, because this is kind of a cross between a representation of the mask that you see in the movie and like a real life, representation. So it's kind of a cross between the two. I didn't really fully detail these eyes. I only did like black for the pupils. I didn't put any irises or anything like that because I wanted it to look like the eye holes in the mask from the movie, but still be like an actual guy. So I thought that was kind of a, and then there's a shot before I painted the head. You could see the work I did on the hair and the white. You see where I've added the facial hair to him and everything.
Yeah.
So that's my John Carver from Thanksgiving. Let me go back to the beginning here. Whoop. Oh, I didn't know I could just go back like that. I love that shot though. That one
Yeah.
right there. Yeah, and I have him here with me. He's been on screen the whole time. There he is.
Oh yeah.
This one's not getting sold. He's staying
right.
with me.
Heck yeah. Yeah. I don't know.
So let's rate them. Dustin, you go first on this one.
I'll say 4 stars.
4 stars. Okay. I'm going 4.5 on this one.
Fair enough.
Just because I liked it so much. I thought the pacing in it was really good. You know, the twists and turns in it was really good. It wasn't one that, upon my first viewing, like I really couldn't figure out, okay, who is it? You know, who could it be? There's nothing worse than sitting down to watch a movie and I know exactly what's going to happen, even though I've never seen it before.
Yeah.
I don't enjoy that. But this one is definitely one of those that's going in the yearly library of movies that I'm going to continue to watch, like a traditional type of.
Yeah.
Hey, some people have certain Christmas movies that they watch. I'm twisted that way. I've got horror movies holiday horror movies that I watch.
Right.
I mean, hell, we did, My Bloody Valentine for Valentine's Day.
Right.
You got Leprechaun for St. Patrick's Day. They're out there. Some of them
We're
are
just
kind of
twisted
kooky.
that way.
Yeah. But yeah, you guys are warped.
Yep. That pretty much sums up our podcast, I suppose.
What can I say? I like what I like.
Yeah. Oh well. Oh boy. So let's see. There's that. Let's see. I don't have a thumbnail for Monday, but we'll be back at it on Monday, 10:30.
Yep.
For another episode of It's Frickin' Figures. And then, of course, we'll be back next Friday for whatever we choose and so on. So what movies are we going to pick?
Yep. Well, before we got started, I asked you if you had any that you had picked out. And you said you had somebody suggested to you.
Yes. So Kurt had sent me a movie. It's called Satanstein. Santastein. Yes, Santastein. Okay. So came out in 2023. And it says,
I've heard of this.
Yeah, me either. That's why I was like, oh, this is interesting. But so it says, when Max was 6, he accidentally killed Santa. Yes. My mom suggested Silent Night, which we watched last year around this time.
No.
Earlier.
No. You watched it. We didn't watch it for the show.
Oh, okay.
I didn't watch it because I didn't have access to it.
Well, we'll have to watch that this year then.
I remember you watched it, though. I think you said you did.
Yeah,
that's
there was that
one. That's the one with the dad and he loses his ability to talk.
Oh. Yes. Yes.
So you're thinking,
no.
I know what you're thinking. You're thinking Violent Night.
Yeah.
Yeah, that one we did watch last year.
Yeah. There's Violent Night and there was a Mel Gibson Fat Man.
Yep, Fat Man.
Yeah, we watched both of those the same week, I think.
Yeah.
I love those. Both of those movies.
Yeah.
But anyway, so this one is when Max was 6, he accidentally killed Santa. 12 years later, Max rectifies this mistake by resurrecting him, but soon realizes the creature he created is a bloodthirsty killer and is headed for his friend's Christmas party. And it says watch on Fossum, Tubi, Prime Video.
Huh.
It's got a pretty cool poster.
That almost looks like Sisu.
Yeah.
Which is also a really good movie. Not a Christmas movie, though.
Yeah.
I actually... So on Tubi, does it say, like, gone, expires in one day or something?
I don't know.
I don't want to pick anything that might, that might disappear or whatever before we get it.
I'm looking it up now.
That's happened before, and we've had to make arrangements to see it, which was partly my mistake. Wait.
Which I can't ever find it. I'm wondering if I'm just stupid. Oh, hey, they have Santa Claus the movie on here. That's the first time.
I was not expecting to have to look that up.
Santa. There we go.
So if you're watching for the first time, we do try to stick to free platforms if we can when we choose our movies. Although sometimes we do dip into, like Max or something like that, like Netflix, which is, where you can still see Thanksgiving if you're interested.
Which I learned it won't let you see if you aren't paying for the medium tier subscription. Like you can't, they won't let you view it. Yeah, because on there was a tier that we had that was like basically, $6.99 plus ads. So you'd have to sit through ads and then you get the cheaper price. No, you needed to pay for the next tier up in order to not be able to watch that movie. So it was annoying, but we worked it out. And
so did you find it?
Yeah.
Does it say it's expiring anytime soon, or? Tubi's funny sometimes, especially like movies that you would think would be on there at a particular time, and then they're just not.
Right.
And they get taken off, like sometimes for a holiday movie or something. They're taken off before the holiday, which was really strange.
I'm not seeing it. Let's see.
Like we ran into that with Independence Day. Like Independence Day was on Tubi, and then Independence Day is coming up, and they take that one off, put the second one on.
Yeah. And then, of course, it was like available like 2 months later in like September.
Yeah.
And it's like, come on. Share screen.
Really strange.
So here it is, Santa Steen. But I'm not seeing anything that it's normally up here, isn't it?
Well, you're not sharing screen, so.
Oh, good grief. I'm so bad at this. There we go.
There we go. Yeah, I don't see anything where it's saying expired.
Yeah. But so there's this one. There's also another. It's on.
Oh my God! I'm gonna throw this remote. I'm trying to get to it on my TV, and there's a delay, so I'm clicking everything wrong. and it's wigging out on me.
There's also this movie that I'm wanting to see. So I was thinking we can watch this at some point coming up soon.
So you're still on Santistine.
Yeah, no, it's called Dear Santa, which I'm working on stop sharing, and then I'll share this, share.
Oh boy.
It's called Dear Santa.
Messed up.
And it has Jack Black in it, which I'm a big Jack Black fan.
Okay, yeah. This is the one that I showed you that was coming out. So where is this playing at?
This one is currently on Paramount Plus. Okay. So again, it's dipping into the.
Yeah, I don't have Paramount. I'll have to figure out if there's a way that I can,
sail the high seas, etc.
Maybe let's save that one a little bit later in December.
Yeah, no, I was thinking that too. But so let's see, Silent Night. Where's Silent Night? Is it maybe on?
Yeah, because the movies that I had picked were definitely not like holiday movies. I'm kind of depending on you here.
Okay, Stars, Prime Video. Okay, well, what about? Well, Planes, Trains, and Automobiles is on Pluto. So there's Santistine and Planes, Trains, and Automobiles.
Oh boy. Yeah, we watched that one last night. We can do that one if you want. I'm not going to watch it again, though. Pluto does this weird thing for me here. It'll play just fine for a little while, and then something happens, and it'll play 3 seconds and pause, and then play 3 seconds and pause, and then play 3 seconds and pause. So much like Oculus, I'm staying the hell away from Pluto. It was very difficult to watch, but we got through it. We did watch it. So if you want, we can do Planes, Trains, and Automobiles and Santistine.
Hey, Madre, are you still watching? Where did you watch Silent Night?
It's available on all those premium type of like Stars and
Anna and the Apocalypse.
I don't think I've heard about that one.
Oh, it's on Tubi for free.
A zombie apocalypse threatened the sleepy town of Little Haven at Christmas, forcing Anna and her friends to fight, slash, and sing their way to survival, facing the undead in a desperate race to reach their loved ones. But they soon discover that no one is safe in this new world, and with civilization falling apart around them, the only people they can truly rely on are each other. So, zombies at Christmas. Jonathan, did you pick that just because I go by zombie? Oh, she said it was on a Facebook ad. Thought I
Yeah.
would mention it.
Santa Steen. Yes. That's why he picked it.
I can't even get into Tubi right now. It ended up forcing me to go to Tubi Kids, and I had to exit out of that. And now it's not even pulling up. So
Can't believe there's
up.
not a Christmas movie about a ho ho ho. Oh, I'm sure there is. I'm sure there is. I mean, practically Bad Santa was, if you think about it. All right, so what are we gonna watch? Are we gonna watch Santa Steen and Anna and the Apocalypse, or are we gonna?
I'm leaving it up to you this week because I've been kind of butting in and going, all right, we're watching these. It's your call. All you. So it doesn't have to be scary Christmas movies, though. Like,
it doesn't.
We've been on kind of a horror tear since September, but
right.
Like, I didn't mean to stay in horror this whole time. Like, we're not just horror.
Right, we aren't.
But I'm not sitting through some sappy Hallmark Channel Christmas movie either.
Right.
That's getting like a.
So when I was talking to my mom about a Jack Black Christmas movie, she's like, "Oh, The Holiday," and I'm like, "No, not The Holiday, not The Holiday. I'm talking about it's called Dear Santa."
Yeah, he's like Krampus or something.
So okay, let's watch Santa Steen and
So I want to say Planes, Trains, and Automobiles. That's kind of I feel like it's past its expiration date now. We've gotten through Thanksgiving. We're kind of looking towards Christmas now.
Yeah.
Just my 2 cents.
No, I agree, and I honestly didn't even know it was a Thanksgiving movie because it was in winter. It was winter, and that's what I associate because it was snowing. But then again, it always snows in Michigan, I guess, at that time of year. So who knows?
Yeah, because he's trying to get home to his family for Thanksgiving dinner.
Yeah, I thought it was Christmas.
Everything goes wrong
in my head.
No.
So that's where I kept getting mixed signals. Or blocked memory, whatever you want to call it. But I really want to watch the Dear Santa, and Santa Steen. Those are the two that I really want to watch, because I also want to watch Red 1 after it releases, because I'm banking on my buddy to find it, who sails the pirate seas and can maybe find a copy for me. Maybe it'll fall off the back of the truck conveniently.
I don't know if I can do that. We'll see.
Well,
all right. Is that what you're going with?
I think it'll definitely get us into a Christmas mode. I mean,
okay.
We put up.
I'm keeping Anna and the Apocalypse on the list.
Yes, no, for sure.
I didn't know that existed. Never heard of it. So I'm keeping that on the list, Jonathan.
Yeah, no, for sure. Hello, lovelies. I like Mel Gibson's Fat Man. Yep. It's going to be our new dad tradition. Yeah, there you go. That's awesome.
Undead
Ramen.
Yeah. Yeah, it was a good movie. It really was.
It really was. It was so funny. It was just all around entertaining. And that's what I'm hoping for The Rock's Red 1. Because it looks funny, but I'm hoping it isn't a letdown. And that's what I'm hoping from Dear Santa too, because
Well, I mean, all three are very different, like movies. Like Fat Man's more based in near reality. Like there are, like Christmas miracle type of things that's happening in it, but it's not like over the top.
right.
I think in Dear Santa, we're gonna get very much the same kind of Jack Black that you get in most of his performances.
Right.
With
Which is the whole reason to watch it.
like the Christmas magic stuff sprinkled in where he's trying to corrupt this kid because the kid misspelled Santa. He put Satan instead of Santa on the letter. So that's how he gets mixed up in that. And then Red 1 is way off the charts with the Christmas magic. You've got, all the typical kind of
Abominable
tropes that you
Snowman.
would think of. Yeah, that's so.
An extremely buff Santa.
Very different tiers of,
Yeah.
comparison to make there.
Yeah.
I get what you're saying. But don't go into these movies thinking that they're all going to be kind of the same vein kind of thing. Not at all. Not at all.
Nah. All right, so let's do that. Yeah.
I will do my best to try and find this movie, okay?
I'm sure
If
you'll
not,
find it. If not, then just watch Anna and the Apocalypse and then
you're gonna have to like walk me through the movie.
I could actually stream it with you, I think.
I kind of get a gist of what's gonna transpire in this movie, but it's always different actually seeing it.
Yeah. Yeah, and I'm sure that we could come up with a way to work it out to where we could watch it together, or I could do something along those lines. So that way you can watch it. So we'll figure it out.
Yeah.
So Santa Steen, thanks to Kurt for coming through with that suggestion. Definitely watching that. And Dear Santa. And then we're watching Anna and the Apocalypse probably next week or something like that. But thanks to those suggestions. And let's see. You guys could stream it live on Pilled and then talk about it after. You'll have to tell us how that would work. But I could be interested in that at some point if Zombie's up for it.
Yeah, I'd have to find a time where,
right,
because my schedule is still just off the rails crazy.
Yeah. Okay, so once again, Mega Level Toys, go help a small brand out, small business out, and don't forget it is where to go? Banners. Turkey 2024 for 25% off all the store, and that's at bigcartel.com.
Yep.
So go help a brother out. And
then come back Monday night for It's Frickin' Figures.
Yeah.
We're going to be talking about To Find It on the Seven Seas. Yeah.
Discord watch party. Hook me the hell up, he says. Okay, so so we have another show on Thursdays that alternates every other movie. It's either horror or Western, horror Western, and I think they also worked in another category as well. But he says he's doing that with Brian's show, playing the movie on Pilled before the show. So, that would mean we would have to, depending on how long it is, stream it, and then, so 2 hours ahead of 9 o'clock. Do you have?
Yeah, I'm not sure.
I'm
not sure I'd be able to fit that window.
Yeah.
Sometimes I don't
You don't even walk in the door. Yeah.
Yeah, until like maybe an hour before our show starts.
Yeah.
Like I think last week I was late. I came in late because I just couldn't get away.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. Well, we'll figure it out. And obviously, if you pay attention to my Instagram at Masters of the Thunder Nerds, I will definitely keep you updated as to what we're doing and all that. So, again, tune in Monday.
Yep.
Join us back here on Friday to talk about the movies.
Yep.
And until next time, Thunder Nerds ho!